It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Yo, man. Boom, Miss Rusty. Boom, Miss Rusty. Boom, Miss Rusty. Somewhere in there, one of those is going to work without clipping, as I say all the time. Welcome to the show. The show today. I had to think which podcast I'm recording. It is the Public Access Podcast, the podcast here on the Quantum Global Broadcasting Network, QGBN. And I'm your host, Rusty Diamond. Fucking is my middle name, but you know, I didn't say I'm Rusty fucking Diamond. Now I did, but you're gonna get that twice. So if you need to know my middle name to look it up on government documents, that's how you do it. There's other Rusty Diamonds, but I don't believe they have the same middle name as I do. So today's Thursday, and that's good. Thursday, whatever, 27th of April. So I am ready to go. And I have a guest that's ready to go. I have a guest waiting in the waiting room. I'm going to bring that guest on right here, right now. And I'm just going to stall while it loads up because that's how we do it. And we get going and we have Richard Janson. How you doing?
Hi, nice to be here.
Good to have you here. So where are you in the world-ish?
I am based in Europe, to be precise, than in Estonia, but I do mostly coach guys from the US, from Canada, Australia, and so on.
Okay. So so you're it's like evening there right now, afternoon maybe, afternoon, early evening.
It's 5 p.m. right now. So
okay. So you're a couple hours ahead of England, or I guess.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And so let's see. So you we'll just get kind of into it, I guess. So you are a dating coach, and I've had on other dating coaches. I've had on a dating coach from, I want to say she was in France, and then I had a dating coach on from who has an offline, it's called offline dating, master offline dating. She's a coach from she lives in Portland. And then I had one a few days ago who is she's the, what was it called? I want to say, not curvy girl dating coach. It might be curvy girl dating coach, something along those lines, but she was from the States as well. And so it's cool that I have another one, and that I have a male dating coach, because I haven't got to talk with a male dating coach yet. And that's something different. And so when you're going on podcasts, I guess, or what got you to jump into a podcast group?
So really, to be honest, it was mostly about spreading my message. You know, the more people hear the message, obviously, the better for me, the better for them, of course, as well, if I can help them. So that was really the main purpose of getting into the group.
Okay. And then with that, so what is your message then, if that you wanted to get out, kind of in the elevator pitch style of what's your message?
Sure. My mission has always been, or since I've been doing this, really helping guys to have better dating lives, to really get out of, from their bad situations, improving their lives in that regard. I myself used to be in a horrible situation with women, and after getting out of that situation, I really want to help others achieve the same thing as well. So So that would be my message, really briefly summed up.
Okay. And so what got you to get out of your fucking old relationship and be like, okay, well, it's time to go.
Well, the thing was that I was always chubby. I started balding when I was 17 years old. I was not very good with women, to be honest. And by sheer luck, I got myself my first girlfriend when I was about 18 or something along the lines. And she was really amazing. She was stunning. She was beautiful. It was a messed up relationship. I'm not going to get into too many details, but she was
Sure.
not right in the head. Basically, she was a bit crazy, but it didn't matter to me because since I hadn't had a girlfriend before, and I always thought of myself as someone who would, never get a nice, good-looking girlfriend, then even after breaking up with her, I thought to myself, if by luck I got that kind of a girl one time, then probably it should be possible for me to get another good looking girl as well. So this is when I basically dived into all of this stuff, started reading books, started working with coaches, started approaching women, went out on dates, really tried to work on my own dating profiles, my own knowledge on attraction. And that is kind of what got me into this as well. So that was a bit of my backstory.
So then, so after you broke up with your girlfriend there, I mean, was there a period of you just sort of trying to, being at home, trying to get over it that way? Or were you just like, you know what, I'm going to get out on the streets. I'm going to go and try to find someone new, or, I'm just going to go up and talk to anyone I can find and see how it works, or how that work?
No, it actually took me a lot of time to kind of build up that courage to actually walk up to someone. But I wasn't particularly sad about the breakup, so I had only one thing on my mind, and that was, how can I get more girls? How can I get more amazing women? And that is when I started, reading books, going through forums, watching YouTube videos, then working with some coaches myself, and then actually slowly but steadily became quite good at that as well.
So when you reached out to a coach, how did you find a coach, and what was the first thing the coach told you to do?
Well, I think I found someone on YouTube, and then through that I watched a lot of his videos, and then ended up signing up. But it's very difficult to sum up what they told me to do, because dating coaching really mostly is about understanding the attraction process. So attraction is a process like any other. It happens when certain qualities are present, right? So when it comes to men and women, the attraction process is a bit different. So in terms of the male attraction process, due to evolution or God, or however we want to put this, we men, we really get attracted to physical qualities very, very much. I mean, this is one of our main attraction triggering behaviors, but or not behaviors, but we get attracted to these qualities. But when it comes to women, women rather get attracted to behaviors, how men behave. Are they confident? Can they lead? Does it appear that they have their life in order, etc.? And that was the stuff that my coach started teaching me as well. So first of all, I really needed to get over some of my mind blocks where I thought that, I'm fat, I'm bald, I can never do this. It's not possible for me. I could never have an amazing girlfriend. First, I needed to work on those mind blocks, and then step by step, actually going out, approaching people, getting some tips on how to do it properly. What are some things to look out for, how to read attraction, etc. It was, it is a bit of a process, but it all makes sense. It's all pretty logical if you start going through this.
So then were you, I mean, were people, well, I don't know. So, okay. So let's say the first woman you walked up to after you met with your dating coach, how'd that encounter go?
I can't really tell you about the first one because they're all kind of like mixed together, but initially I was not very good at it. I always got like blackout drunk. I tried to walk up to women while being drunk because that was kind of the only thing that
Oh, I lost your sound. Yeah, when you
Can you hear me
might.
now?
Yep, there you go.
Perfect. So basically, initially, uh, how much did you hear? Sorry.
None of that last part.
None of that. Okay, so basically, the initial approaches, when I did my initial approaches, I usually got very drunk because that was the only thing that could kind of relieve my anxiety or stress that I have about it. And so I can't remember them very well, to be honest. But step by step, I started to get more sober while doing it. I gained more confidence. Initially, when I was drunk, I started to get some successes as well. And then I drank less and less every single time, and at some point I could do it absolutely sober.
So were you picking up bar women?
Yes,
Was that your
yes, mainly.
approach?
Mainly
Okay.
initially that was my approach. That seemed to be the easiest way because when you go to bars, when you socialize, when you go clubbing, a lot of the times when people drink a little bit and they're you know in that elevated mood, they tend to be a lot more open to approaches. They tend to be a lot more open to finding partners as well. Some people go out just to meet a partner, for example. So that was initially the easiest way for me to approach this.
So what was the next place you started going after you started going to the clubs to go
Well, then
to try to meet women?
then I think the second step was that I started doing a lot of online dating. So first fixing up my online dating profile, making sure my photos look good, making sure that I know how to text. I started practicing that. And then I started getting kind of like daytime dates through online dating. That was kind of the next step. Nowadays, I wouldn't say that there are different ways you could approach this. You could either start from walking up to people at bars or in the street, or you could do online dating. It really doesn't matter. But in my case, that was kind of the process, how I approached it. The second thing was online dating dates.
So how are those online dates going? Um, I mean, there's uh, a big like way they can go. There's many different ways those online dates can go, and I think I've experienced most all of them. And so, what about you? How are they going for you?
Well, they went initially not as good, but as time progressed, then obviously I started to become better and better because as I told you earlier, attraction really is a process. If you learn how to understand the process, if you understand what qualities, for example, in you trigger attraction in women, how do they signal if they're interested or disinterested or whether they like the certain move or not, if you start understanding these concepts and you really every time you go on a date, you make it a learning experience for yourself. So what I used to do was that I went on a date, and after that date, I had a notepad and I wrote down everything about the date, everything I could remember. What I said, how did she react to that? When was the time where I started to escalate a little bit? Why did it fail? Why did it succeed? I really started to break it apart. And that is what really helped me as well. That is what I really recommend a lot of guys to do as well. That break down your dates. Don't just mindlessly go on dates and try the same thing over and over again, but try to figure out what went right, what went wrong, at what point did she start to lose interest, etc. And that is how I started to improve as well.
I mean, yeah, data is some of the most valuable form of feedback and way to better yourself. Just, I mean, the more data you have, the better it's going to be for you. And so, I mean, did you have people that, I mean, you never like, I don't know, did any of the women you were dating, they ever find your notebook and be like, oh, okay, well, I got I got half a star, and he said I was kind of shitty that first time, and she didn't like my joke about that, flying on an airplane and playing golf and whatever it may be. Did that ever happen?
Uh, it did not happen. It did
Okay.
not happen. So I got lucky when it came to that. But later on, when I was already a dating coach and actually teaching clients, initially I was really afraid to talk about my profession. So I was worried that women might, maybe they might mind, or maybe they might think that I'm a, I don't know, a hypocrite or some sort of a manipulator or whatever else. So at that point, one girl found out when I was on a date that I was actually a dating coach, but she didn't react negatively at all. She in fact reacted very positively, and that is when after that I really started talking about my profession as well. Of course, I've had some experiences where women have been a bit, hesitant. They have thought about it, like, what kind of profession is it? They have asked me more questions. But whenever I come to that point where I'm able to explain my profession and, what it's good for, and that it's not all about, or not really, in fact, at all about manipulating women or kind of, deceiving them, then they really accept that most of the times.
And so, to go back for a minute, so with your online profile, when you set it up, I mean, how like truthful was it? Was it, or were there parts? Because so what I'm getting at here, when I was talking with the curvy girl dating coach, she had like she was worried that since she was, more curvy and stuff, that, she put down stuff that wasn't representing her like accurately. You have pictures where you can only see like part of her and her body, or saying that she was average sized, and then she's going out on these dates, and when the guys meet her, they're like, well, what the fuck, this isn't what I signed up for. What are you trying to do? And then once she changed that, and she's like put down curvy and started showing pictures of herself, I was like, there's a lot of dudes who are into that, like, and like you said, guys are, very much, one of the things that they look for is, physical traits and stuff like that. And you go in and you think that you're meeting someone that looks like this, and they show up and they're different. Like, what the fuck? Like, this isn't what I didn't want this. Like, but then,
Right.
there's a lot of dudes that like curvy chicks, and it's cool, man. And so, yeah, I don't know. Was that something that you kind of dealt with, or you deal with your coaching?
Yes, of course. That's a very good point that you've just brought up. Now, I never and I never encourage my clients to absolutely lie about their size, or what they've accomplished. For example, I never ever encourage lying, but of course, I would say it's better to, for example, hire a photographer who knows what kind of angles to use, who makes you maybe look a bit thinner, maybe like, I don't know, 10 kilograms thinner if you weigh about, I don't know, 100 kilograms, and they make you look like you weigh about 90 kilograms. I'm sorry, I don't know it in pounds, so that is why I stick to the kilograms. But if you
Yeah.
make yourself look like 10% thinner, I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily, because especially when it comes to men, women value more, as I explained earlier as well, they value your behavior. Are you confident? Does it look like you have your life together? Does it look like you are on your purpose, etc.? So those few extra pounds that you might notice, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. So I did the same thing. I made myself look a bit thinner, so as presentable as I could look. So basically,
Yeah.
that was what I did, but never lie about your, I don't know, the things that you can do or things that you've accomplished. Rather, I would leave out perhaps some of the bad things and maybe not mention them, but I would never lie on these profiles, because I don't think that's moral.
So then, but so I was getting more, I guess, at women, because like you said, like most women don't really care what guys look like, really too much. There's somewhat, but not nearly as much as what men think of women. Um, so I mean, so if you're a guy, are you, it would be like a guy, them putting that they, are a lot more confident that they are. They put on that they have, you know, uh, some fucking awesome job and a sweet car or something, standing in front of a Ferrari or something, or whatever people do. And then, yeah, then, the woman gets there on the date and they're like, what the fuck is this? Like, this isn't what I signed up for. Like, come on. you're wasting my time. Is that so? And I guess, are you working with women too, or is it for men
No,
only?
I work
Okay.
with men only. I work with men only. One point I wanted to make about your previous point as well. You mentioned that appearance isn't almost at all important. I mean, it is definitely important. So you should always look your best. If you are, I don't know, balding, I would recommend you shave your head. If you have an outgrown beard that looks messy, then obviously trim it. If you can, then obviously wear nice clothing. Don't show up on a date with a t-shirt with a stain on it, etc. But you
Right.
want to look your absolute best. But yes, that is true that women don't value physical appearance nearly as much as they claim. They claim that it is very important, but in reality, you can get away with not looking like a prince. So,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a very good looking guy, and it's about that confidence. If you got that, like, or you're funny, that goes a long way. It goes a long way. Like, yeah, it's kind of cool. It works out for in your favor if you're not a very good looking guy.
absolutely.
Yeah. Um, so okay, so you work with only guys. So why not work with women?
That's a good question. Now, mainly because I can relate mostly to men, because I have been in a very similar position like many of my clients. I can really relate to their problems. I've been through this journey, myself. If I were to now teach women, it would only be theoretical knowledge that I could provide. And of course, I could provide some theoretical knowledge to women as well, but I feel more comfortable and more confident teaching men because I have been through this myself.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And so, um, I mean, how are you getting so okay, you said you have a YouTube channel. I don't know if you said that off air or on air, or I saw that, but so you have a YouTube channel. Kinds of um what kinds of things are there, and are they to lead to, you know, give advice, or to, get, I mean, obviously is to get them to your course, but I mean, is it for advice, and like, do you have um I don't know. I mean, what is it to kind of also show what sets you apart from other dating coaches?
Mhm. Yeah, well, I have a YouTube channel. I just recently became more active on it. I think it's a couple of years old, but I don't know, 6 months ago, I started working on it properly as well. And I really mainly give out kind of like tips, quick tips. I don't record any like 30-minute videos, but I rather do these short format videos where I give out some tips. And of course, the main purpose is to guide people onto my channel and onto my page as well. That is one of the main reasons, but I also want to give out free advice as well, so giving out some tips and stuff people can actually use in real life.
So what's an example of something someone has come up to you or messaged you and said, "Hey," uh, like a real success story. What's like something one of your clients was like, "You know what? I was totally fucking up, but then I got in your program and this changed."
Mhm. That's a good question. Now, I've had several, of course, first of all, but
Absolutely.
it really, first of all, we should start from defining what is success, because I've had many, many, many different clients throughout the years of working with men. Now, to a guy, for example, who is 40 years old, has never had a girlfriend, has never kissed anyone, has never been on a date. If they walk up to me, or they kind of want to start working together with me, then success for them would be already, starting to go on, I don't know, a couple of dates per month, maybe getting their initial kiss. That doesn't sound like much for a regular person, but it sure is a lot for that person. So
Yeah.
that is one thing. On the other hand, I've had clients in the past who have been, already very successful with women. Maybe they already have like a rotation of women with whom they sleep with. They go on many dates, and they just want to have a couple of more. Now that really sounds successful, but that's, that's a bit different. But I've definitely had very different kinds of clients through from different areas of life. But one that comes into mind the most, I would say the guy who got most success would be that same 40-year-old guy. I was actually talking about a real person. So he was very anxious. He was from England, and I think he was about 42 years old, and he literally had never had a girlfriend, never kissed anyone, etc. But after the coaching finished, so first of all, during the coaching, he became a lot more confident. He started going on dates. He started believing in himself again. He started working out in the gym at the same time as well. He bought himself new clothes, started getting some successes from dates, finally got his first kiss during our coaching as well. And I just reached out to him. I think it was like 6 months ago. I actually worked together with him about a year ago. And now he had found himself a girlfriend as well, and he was really happy. He was very thankful. So I would say that was one of my biggest successes, because he was very introverted, very isolated in life. He worked an IT job, barely ever communicated with people, was very depressed. So I felt that was one of my biggest personal victories, so to say.
Yeah, and that's awesome. I mean, so what was it like when he told you that he got his first kiss during your course?
Well, that made me very happy, and he was obviously very happy as well. I've had plenty of other stories similar, but I think in this case he was just special because he was very introverted, could barely utter a word when we first talked, and he was a real tough nut to crack, but we made it work. So that made me very happy as well.
So what was that first breakthrough with him where you were able to kind of get him out of his shell when you knew that, like, okay, I got him, I'm on the right track?
Well, just like with him, but also with other clients, the first thing always is really understanding the attraction process. So making sure that you as a man and as my client understand, where does attraction come from? What are the qualities that really trigger attraction? You don't have to be a 10 out of 10 looking, prince on a white horse. When people realize that, and they really understand that attraction can be systemized, that it's possible to actually learn it, to improve on it, that it's not some kind of a magical thing, and that not all women are these mysterious beings who we can never understand. Once guys understand that, really a lot of the times their mindset changes. They understand that if I put work into this, if I put effort into this, if I start going out, if I start getting dates, and I really start breaking those dates apart, analyzing what happened, then that is where the real change happens. And that was exactly what happened with that guy as well. After he understood that he's not a worthless human being, that he actually could have a girlfriend, that there's actually, that he could actually make that work, then his mindset changed as well. But with him, it took obviously a lot longer than it usually takes with my other clients. But that, I think that was the moment, and that is a moment for a lot of my other clients as well.
So the next thing was, I was going to ask, have you thought about a book? Has that gone through your mind at all, or anything like that? Some sort of, I don't know, a book or some sort of list of, I don't know, speech, maybe doing like speeches somewhere or anything like that?
I've done in the past, I've done some offline seminars and so on, but I've never thought about a book very deeply, because the information is out there. There are so many guys, so many coaches who do the exactly the same thing, or very similar. They have similar approaches to dating. So I don't feel the necessity. I don't want to do the work. I don't want to sit down for, I don't know, months and write a book when the information is out there. I want to be more practical. I want to work on this every single day. I want to, be with my clients, support them. So at this point of life, I just don't see value in it. But, who knows? Maybe in the future.
Yeah. And so then your clients, are you meeting them with them once every week or so, or like, a few times a week, or for a certain time and then change it to a week, every other week, or how's that work?
So I mainly do online coaching. So that means that I meet most of my clients through kind of these Zoom meetings, but it really depends on the necessity. So if someone needs more support, then I meet with them every other day, for example. If a person doesn't need as much guidance, is an action taker anyways, understands what I tell them to do, then maybe we meet like once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks. So really depends on the necessity. But I would say on average, maybe like once a week.
Okay. And so, so who is the person that you want to have message you and say, help me, Richard? Or is there a certain person or a certain kind of person, or is it just anyone who can do that?
Well, of course, I would encourage everyone to message me who feels that they're troubled or that they can't manage that part of their life or just want to improve their dating lives. Of course, everyone can reach out to me, but I prefer working with and what I've set as kind of like my target audience as well are men who are action takers, men who have already achieved something. I tend to work with entrepreneurs, etc. And I personally like that the most because they are not quitters. They know what they want in life. They can be analytical thinkers. I prefer that, of course, but anyone can reach out to me and we can then determine whether we are a good fit or not.
So are you more of like let's see, like an advanced course for people for the most part? Is that like what you're trying to do? And trying to get people for like people who are, like you're saying, already kind of know how to do this stuff and are there, but can just use those final few steps to just kind of, go up like a percent or two each time. Is that something more like what you're trying to do?
Not really, not really. It
Okay.
really depends on the person or on the client. So as I said earlier, I've had guys who have been, 40-year-old virgins. I've had guys who have been already sleeping with many, many women and just want to sleep with more women. It really doesn't matter to me who I coach, and that is why, anyone who's watching and wants to reach out to me, don't worry if you've only had one girlfriend or whether you've had 100 girlfriends. It doesn't matter. We can always find ways to tweak your performance, make sure that you could get even better results. Because the truth is, a lot of times that most guys, even if they are very, very successful, they actually lack that kind of like systemized approach to dating. They don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're naturally, confident and they just get results. Most guys don't have a specific battle plan when they approach or when they go on a date. They just, go about the date. But so I can really help most guys because I can give them that systemization. I can give them basically the structure they need. And it doesn't matter whether you've only had one girlfriend or 100, just like I said.
Okay. And so how are people going to find you?
So
On
people, first of all, they can check out my website that maybe we have linked somewhere as well,
Yep,
but
I'll link all this.
jansoncoaching.com. Perfect. And also you can check out my social media as well. I'm on Instagram and Facebook and so on.
Excellent. Okay. And then so I guess the last thing I want to ask you is, where has that put you with dating from being a dating coach? Where has that transformed you into?
That's a very good question. Now, when it comes to me, I would say that it really, when I first started, approaching women, started going out a lot more, started getting dates, it all came from a very bad place. I think it has something to do with my childhood, some unexplained trauma where I was always validation seeking. Since I didn't get a lot of validation from women when I was younger, it kind of left like a hole in me. And I I think that is the reason why I became a dating coach as well, because I wanted to fill that void. I wanted to get more. I wanted to be with more women. I wanted to feel loved. And that is what pushed me to go into extremes with this. You know, I've approached thousands. I've been on many, many dates. I've had tons of, girlfriends, etc. I think I took this too far until recently, until about like 5 years ago, where then I started working on myself actually as well, worked with a therapist, with a psychologist, etc., until I figured out that, it is a hole that you can't fill. You need to work on yourself. Women are not the answer. And right now I am in a happy relationship. So that is what happened to me. But really, I think I was kind of like a broken person, and that led me to take this so seriously as well, which led me to actually become good at this as well, because I had that inner, dissatisfaction that led me to really push and look for answers and try to get the best looking women and so on. But I'm glad that I'm in a place where I am right now. Maybe that was the thing that helped me to find that hole in the first place. So I am
Actually.
right now, I'm in a great spot.
Cool. Okay. Well, hey, thank you, Richard. I enjoyed getting to talk to you and getting to know you and getting get all information out, getting people who are listening to know about this, and someone who might not have known or thought like, hey, I'm doing okay, or I could use a lot of help. You can get some information here, or you can just go and get a hold of him. I got to point that way, I guess, but it's not going to matter. It's just going to crop out anyway. And it's just going to be me pointing some direction, me filling up the whole screen. So yeah, Richard, hey, thank you so much. And everybody, thank you so much for listening. And
Thanks for having me.
yeah, you're welcome. Rate, review, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. It's up on, this will be up on YouTube, Rumble, iHeartRadio, whatever, because I'm not saying anything I shouldn't be saying where I have to only put it on Rumble. So you guys enjoy that. And you guys, thank you. Richard, thank you.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And you guys, that is the show. Maybe it is the show. Oh, is it the show? Because we're gonna go like that, because it is the show, man.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.